Is DMZ getting cancelled? Well, since the announcement of Zombies in Modern Warfare 3, this has been a very big topic within the DMZ and Zombies community. And I'm a little bit late to the discussion, but this discussion was primarily caused by me. When I went to Sledgehammer Games a few weeks ago to see Modern Warfare 3 early, I asked the Activision rep there, after seeing Zombies, if DMZ was going to be returning in Modern Warfare 3. And the answer that I got, which I tweeted out, was that we are not discussing the future of DMZ at this time. Now, this sparked a lot of conversation on whether DMZ is actually going to be in Modern Warfare 3 or not. And in this video, I want to talk about the evidence that we have so far that gives us a firm answer on if it is or not. But I think the first thing that's making people believe DMZ is being cancelled is the fact that Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is essentially DMZ, but with the Outbreak mode from Cold War. And when you have two modes that seem very similar, being DMZ and then DMZ but with zombies, from Activision's point of view, would it make sense to continue on DMZ when there is practically the exact same mode but with zombies existing? That's a real big talking point, because from what I saw of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and how it sounds laid out with the missions and the structure of the acts, it really does sound like everything DMZ managed to achieve with all of its systems, the way that there is so much AI on the map with loads of real players at the same time, sounds like they're just going to take everything from that technology and improve upon it and zombify it. But on top of that, a major thing about DMZ is that it is free to play, whilst the Zombies mode in Modern Warfare 3 is part of the premium offering, meaning you have to buy the game to get yourself zombies. Now, up until about Season 3, there was not a single mechanic in the game which required you to spend any money on, so Activision were not making any money from the DMZ mode. Then we got the introduction of what some people claim are pay-to-win bundles, which give you some additional effects upon spawn in DMZ as a method of monetizing the game mode. But when you have a free mode versus one that you have to pay for, already they can monetize that a lot easier than with DMZ, and only Activision will know for sure just how much money they've made from DMZ via those bundles and those perk offerings, and if that is enough to warrant the development costs of the DMZ mode. And let's talk about that for a second, because out of any other mode within Modern Warfare 2, DMZ has seen much more substantial content drops throughout the year than we've seen for even Warzone, which is incredibly impressive to see, as there are more maps to play on in DMZ than there are in Warzone. And the cadence of those new content drops needs to be looked at too, because it started off very strong with the release of DMZ with Season 1 on the Al Mazrah map. Then a few weeks later, Building 21 was added. Then a few weeks after that, Ashika Island was added. And then 2 months later, a new map was added for Season 3.5. And then a few weeks later, another map, Vondel, was added. That is a lot of content to add in such a short time frame, and that sort of cadence the players got used to, and it's a cadence that is impossible to keep up at that pace. Ever since Season 4, we're now in Season 5 Reloaded, there's been nowhere near as many DMZ updates as what we were seeing from the first 4 seasons, which can give off the impression that there just isn't that much content coming to the mode anymore. And you can see that as both a positive thing or a negative. Going back to the quote I was told at the event about DMZ, we need to think about this logically. The purpose of the event was to be the first initial part of the reveal of Modern Warfare 3. The purpose of that event was not to reveal Warzone, it was not to reveal DMZ, it wasn't even to reveal multiplayer or zombies, it was just the campaign, but included a little sliver of information about multiplayer and zombies. But the purpose of it wasn't there to reveal the whole entire game, so it sort of makes sense that DMZ and Warzone were not discussed. Now, we know that Warzone is normally always spoken about at a later date. Last year, it was saved for the Call of Duty Next event, and it's happening again this year. Invites state that you'll get exclusive hands-on with Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Warzone, and Warzone Mobile, and I'm really excited to announce that I got one of these invites, so I will be in LA for COD Next, and we'll be live streaming the very first Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer gameplay, Warzone gameplay, and anything else that gets revealed, so be sure to stay tuned and subscribe. But with all of that in mind, it's likely that we'll hear something about DMZ then, so I wouldn't worry too much on the fact that it wasn't discussed at this point. Now let's get into some of my personal opinions based on evidence we have right now to suggest what the future of DMZ is like. And the first thing is that DMZ is part of the core Warzone experience right now. It's literally under that Warzone umbrella, both being free to play and a mode within Warzone. So I suspect the likeliest thing is that with Modern Warfare 3, since it's going to be just an additional box in the COD HQ launcher, we will still see Warzone and DMZ there, so you'll still be able to play it. And the likely thing I think will happen is that when the new Warzone map comes out and gets added into Warzone with all the Modern Warfare 3 guns, we will also see that map be integrated into the DMZ mode, and it will be a new area for us to play on with some new missions that are all tied around that new map and potentially a new faction within the game. But I feel beyond that point, I don't think it's likely DMZ will get updated much, if at all, after that point. And I say that because one, Modern Warfare Zombies is like the flagship mode for this year's game, I reckon, and it's part of that premium experience. So there's going to be a lot more emphasis on wanting players to jump into that mode and buy the game so that they have access to that mode. But also, primarily, DMZ was created by Infinity Ward, so it is their baby, and I don't see Infinity Ward supporting the DMZ mode anywhere near as heavily as we've seen with this year, because not only was it their own mode, but also the DMZ mode pretty much carried the entire story and lore throughout all the seasons of Modern Warfare. It would make zero sense for that to be the same thing in Modern Warfare 3, using that to continue on the story when it's not Sledgehammer Games' mode, it's Infinity Ward's. What will be really telling is to see how Season 6 will be for DMZ, as I reckon it will be a make or break moment. At that point, we will be able to tell, judging by how much content DMZ gets with Season 6, if they're going to keep substantial updates going, or if, like we've seen with Season 5 and Reloaded, they're just going to start letting the mode go with even smaller incremental updates. I do think it's a catch-22 situation, as I would love to see DMZ continue in the way that we've seen it in the past year, because for me, it's been such a refreshing mode to play with in Call of Duty, something that feels completely brand new. And in my own personal opinion, it is the best part of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone from the last year. And whilst I definitely don't think anywhere near as many people play DMZ as play Warzone, I do think the mode has been a success. And if it wasn't a success, then there is no way that we would have seen such substantial content drop for it throughout the last year. It's the first mode in COD history which is a PvPvE mode, and that is something you won't be getting with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, and especially when it is labeled as an extraction-based game loop within the Zombies mode, it's interesting to see how that will play out without there being PvP. I think the PvP aspect of DMZ is one of the most exciting parts of the game mode, so for players that still want to experience something like that, I think it would be a real shame if DMZ just disappeared. But also, at the end of the day, video games are a business, and we really don't know if DMZ has been as much of a success as Activision expected it to be in comparison to Warzone, and if it hasn't been a success in terms of making them a lot of money, then does it make financial sense for them to continue DMZ on into Modern Warfare 3 and beyond? That is the real question that we just don't really know for sure. But as we said earlier, it really does sound like Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is going to literally be DMZ combined with elements of Outbreak. And if that is the case, then would it make sense for another mode to exist that is extremely similar but just has AI soldiers instead of zombies? I don't know. That is the real question, but I'd love to know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Do you want to see DMZ continue into Modern Warfare 3? Do you like DMZ more than the sound of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, or do you not care about DMZ at all? I'd love to know where you stand.